Okay. We are at the point where we're going to do the rounding of the edges. So if you take a look at the instructions that are on the internet, or follow what I'm doing. So we're going to use this feature. It's called the fillet. And then when you click on that, it's going to ask you what items you want to add that curve to. So I always like to have full preview selected. That way you can see what's about to happen. Alright, so we're going to select this edge. This edge. And this outer edge. And if you get stuck or you need help, just let me know. Or do you want me to go back and redo it? Alright, so the next step we're going to do is we're going to basically just smooth those lines out. And then from there, we're just going to do the drawing, like make an actual drawing, and then you guys are going to dimension it. Okay? Okay. So for here, we're going to go up
like
to...
a review drawing? Like a review?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait,
Yep, it will look like basically like this.
oh, very nice.
And then you will add the dimensions in yourself. And like for work, that's a lot of just what I do because the real engineers don't want to do that work, I guess, you know, like that's the bottom of the totem pole work. So that's a lot of what I do. Alright, so for up here, we're going to go to the tools bar.
Yeah.
And we're going to go down to options. Did I see that?
Nope, I don't know what the option bar is. There's like an option shortcut thing.
It's this little arrow right here.
Yeah, then tools.
Yep, and then tools. And then down to options.
Oh, I don't think I went to start up there. Oh, yeah, there we go.
So up here,
We're there. Also, oh yeah.
again, it's tools.
Yeah, this for a second.
Down to options.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do, I think it's display selection.
Where are we on display?
Display selection. And then we're going to remove. So it says part assembly tangent edge display. We want to have that removed. And then you should just be able to hit OK.
Okay, do this.
And then your object should
So,
appear smoother.
You can do. Well, no, you can also on all of them. Normally, there's an option where you can use the display style changes. You can make it.
So then the next step is we're actually going to create our drawing. So up here, you can see that like you're going to open a new file. You're going to make a drawing from the part, because we're going to use this part. After this, there's different ones that you can use. Like I know for my job, they will usually give me a template, and then that's the one that I use. At Purdue, the teachers had us make our own, so it had like our student name on there and stuff like that. For this drawing, we are going to use...
Oh, geez. Which is a cut bit.
Yep. And just hit accept. And then your screen should look something like this. Oh, when it's kind of like how we were on the part. To zoom in and out, you just use your little rolly mouse guide. So your first one you want to do, sorry. Do you guys have your thing pulled up on the internet? Because we're going to mimic this drawing, is what we're doing. It's on the internet. Okay. So when you find the part that the view that you want to drag into your drawing, you basically just drop it and drag it.
Right? Drag it, then drop it.
Yeah. What did I say?
Just drop it, then drag it.
Yeah, just drop it and then drag it. Totally.
Drag it.
And then from that one view, you can go to different
Yeah.
views like that.
Link it down.
Oh, this is super cool.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love it. Oh. Oh my god, this is cool. Drop and drag.
How did you pull up the thing on the side where you can drag it?
Whoa.
The different views.
That is interesting. Only a little.
So see this little one right here? It actually says View Palette. And then there's all sorts of other options you can do. We do want to use a sectional view, which is what this little guy is. You see like the cross, the little hash marks like that, it usually means that it's a cut view, so you can actually see the inside of it. And then the point of this one is so you can see that that center goes all the way through. You can see the center line.
Look at that. Oh.
Alright, so I'm working on the sectional view right now. And so I went to view layout, and I did section view, and it's giving you options.
Look at it going down there.
So this is like if you want to just cut it like a cake and see the inside?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so you can see that this link is there, so it's trying to keep it in that position. You can always break that link.
And then the sides.
Whoa. That's fancy.
I selected the origin. Now.
I have to remember how to break that link.
I would- Oh.
Okay, so it's I right-clicked on it, and under alignment, I can break alignment, and that means that I can move it basically anywhere on the drawing.
Question?
Yes.
What is that?
I'm sorry.
Oh, just get my.
All right, we are doing a detailed view,
What are you guys trying to do? Like,
draft quality, and we're doing it about right here. Ish. Actually, we'll do it like right here. Make that circle. There's not like a specific radius how big you want to make this. A lot of it is just touch and go. So we're trying to show the angle of that edge right there. And
Yeah.
you can pass it around. So you're trying to show the angle of that edge, and that's so the machine shop knows how to actually make the tool. Which is the same reason why we curved all the edges, because a lot of times for a machinist, those straight edges like this are near impossible. And they will quote you outrageous prices because it's a pain in the butt. So the curved edge just makes it easier for a machine shop to actually manufacture your part. Interesting information. Yes.
Bigger.
To me, that scale looks small. Alright, so the next step is we're going to dimension the drawing. So in annotation, there's actually smart dimensions. And this is where you really want to have this up on your computer because you're going to reference this. So normally what would happen, like in a job, is they would give you the part and you would recreate it in SolidWorks and then you would measure that part with a little caliper. I saw somebody with one the other day.
Yeah, let's use that one.
Yeah, and then you would make sure that your drawing's measurements matches your tangible part so that a shop can recreate that part for you. Another thing that happens is they will give you a drawing that's not a native SolidWorks file, and you have to reverse engineer it and make that part in those drawings for them. So it can be fun, it can be boring, but it's a lot of what the young engineers get hired to do. Alright, so smart dimension. I'm kind of just going to let you guys fumble through this. So pull up that internet thing and ask me questions. But you're basically just going to mimic it. So you're going to use smart dimensions. And start going crazy.
Going crazy.
Ready, set, go. Right now.
Oh, hi there. All right.
Hey, should I all sit down?
I don't think so. I don't believe so. Although I'm trying to find where this.
Well, I'll be under.
Having difficulties finding where. What page is
See you
the?
guys.
What?
Thank you, Jessica.
Uh-huh.
Sorry I
The
could
one
not
thing
stay.
I mentioned. Is
Why is
one. I scrolled past the first one.
one?
Okay, I see. All right.
So part of the problem here we are all going to have is that since we chose a whatever sheet to use, the units might not match because these sheets all have units pre-loaded into them. Sometimes you can try to change because we should be in inches and pounds and seconds. So if your numbers look weird, that's why. You guys have any questions? You're awful quiet.
I'm having difficulties finding dimensions. It's different than before.
Yeah, dimensioning with the drawing was pretty much all I had planned for today.
Okay.
Just because I wanted you guys to get familiar with that, and so next week we can create our own templates, and then dimensioning this would probably be funner next week.
What's the difference between a part and an assembly?
A part is what we just did. An assembly is when you have multiple parts and you put them together. It's actually called mating. You mate one surface to the next surface.
Tell me more about this.
No.
Tell me more about this mating process.
That's why I hesitated in saying that.
Are you sure it's not matting?
No, I'm sure it's mating. It's mating, right?
We're mature, I swear.
I'm pretty sure it's mating. Otherwise, every engineer I've talked to has said it wrong. It's just always possible. Yeah, so an assembly is when you have multiple parts, and then you just assemble them, basically. And a lot of the times on assemblies, I'll have the parts that I've done, but a lot of like the little screws and stuff like that, there's catalogs, like not physical catalogs, but computer catalogs, and you just pull those standard parts. So it's that saying, don't reinvent the wheel. You don't want to spend your time designing a screw when somebody out there has already done that. So
And then it's kind of industry standard too.
yes, yep. And next week I can bring you guys some stuff to show you that I use for work, like this little sizing chart for screws and bolts, and I can bring in an assembly I already did, and I can show you how it moves, and when it's done properly, you can't move it outside of its restraints that it would have physically when it was built. It should be locked within those constraints.
That's cool.
So I can bring some of that next week.
Yep.
You guys?